You know what's wild? The truth that's been sitting in front of your face this entire time, you've just been trained to ignore it. Trained by distractions, by fear, by other people's opinions, by your past. And here's the thing, when you hear this, you won't be able to unhear it. No one can. Because once this wakes you up, there's no going back. You're not stuck. You're just scared to move. You're not behind. You're just comparing your timing to someone else's. You're not lost. You've just stopped listening to yourself. That voice inside you, the one that keeps nudging you, whispering, there's more, it's right. You've been trying to mute it with excuses, bury it with distractions, but it doesn't go away. It's still there because it's you, the real you, and it refuses to be ignored. So let's talk about the life you say you want. You want peace? Stop giving energy to people who don't respect you. You want progress? Stop waiting for motivation to show up and start moving. You want change? Then let go of the version of yourself that's addicted to comfort. You want success? Then you've got to do the things that scare you, the things that challenge you, the things that force you to grow. Period. There's no shortcut around that. No one's coming to push you. No one's going to hand you a map. That inner fire you keep ignoring, that's your map. The truth is, we all feel like imposters sometimes. We all doubt ourselves, but you know what successful people do? They feel the doubt and do it anyway. Confidence is not the absence of fear. It's moving forward with it. Waiting to feel ready is the biggest lie you've ever been sold. You don't need more time. You don't need permission. You just need to decide. Decide that your past isn't stronger than your future. Decide that your dreams aren't going to die inside your comfort zone. Decide that enough is enough, that you're done shrinking to fit into rooms that don't see your worth. And once you decide, act. Because you can think all day long, plan, journal, manifest, but without action, nothing changes. And this isn't about being perfect. It's about being real. Real with yourself. Real about what you want. Real about the fact that your habits shape your reality. You want to change your life? Change your patterns. Wake up earlier. Shut off the noise. Stop arguing for your limitations. Start showing up like the person you want to become. You've got one shot at this life. One, you can keep living on autopilot, replaying the same stories, stuck in the same loops, or you can disrupt the pattern. That power, it's in your hands. You already know what to do. You just need to do it. Stop pretending you don't have time. Stop acting like you're not ready. You are. Right now. This is it. No one can ignore this anymore, especially not you. You've been programmed to stay asleep, and I need you to really let that sink in. I'm not talking about sleep as in getting rest at night. I'm talking about the way you've been conditioned to walk through your life half awake. You go through the motions. You follow the routine. You chase what you're told to chase, and all the while, something inside you is screaming, wake up. But the world has done such a good job numbing you, distracting you, overwhelming you, that you've started to believe this fog is normal. It's not. And that's why no one can ignore this anymore. From the moment we're born, we're told how to behave, what to want, what success looks like. You go to school, get good grades, don't ask too many questions, fit in, follow the rules, don't rock the boat. And when you do exactly what they say, you get a pat on the back. Good job. You learn that pleasing others, following the system, staying in line, that's the way to live a good life. And here's the problem with that. You were never taught how to wake up to who you really are. You were never taught that discomfort is a signal, not something to avoid. That boredom is a symptom of misalignment, not a personality flaw. That frustration, restlessness, even anxiety, it's not always about what's wrong with you. It's about what you're ignoring in you. But instead of teaching you to listen to those signals, the world taught you to silence them. Scroll more, drink more, work more. Distract yourself until that quiet voice is nothing but a whisper you barely hear. And that's exactly how you stay asleep. You keep hitting snooze on your own life. You think, maybe next year I'll change. When I have more money, more time, more confidence, then I'll do what I really want. But let me ask you something. How many years have you said that? How many times have you put off the very thing you know you're meant for because you're waiting for permission? Let me be clear, the system isn't broken. It's working exactly as it was designed, and it's designed to keep you asleep, distracted, obedient, and doubting yourself just enough that you never step fully into your power. And I know this might sting, it's supposed to, because waking up isn't comfortable, it's disruptive. When you finally start to see how deeply you've been conditioned to play small, to second guess your voice, to suppress your dreams, you can't unsee it. That's the moment everything changes. That's the crack in the system. That's your chance to rise. You've been taught to ignore your gut and listen to everyone but yourself. You've been taught that other people know better, that you need a plan, a certification, approval, followers, the right timing, and every time you believe that you're handing your power away, you are outsourcing your life to the very system that trained you to forget who you are. But here's the good news. You can wake up right now. In this moment, you don't need to blow up your life or figure everything out overnight. You just need to notice. Notice when you're numbing instead of facing. Notice when you're agreeing to things that drain you. Notice when your body tenses around certain people, places, routines. That's your truth trying to get your attention. That's your soul knocking on the door saying, there's more. And the moment you start paying attention, you start to reclaim your power. You begin to trust yourself again. You realize that every time you dismissed your intuition, every time you silenced your voice, it wasn't because you were wrong, it was because you were taught to doubt what's right, but that ends now because once you wake up, you begin to see all the ways you've been sleepwalking through your own life, and you won't want to go back. This isn't about rebellion for the sake of rebellion. It's about liberation. It's about remembering that you were born with purpose, clarity, fire, that you don't have to be what the world told you to be. That the programming may be strong, but your truth is louder. You are not broken. You are not behind. You are simply waking up. And once you do, everything changes. You've got this idea in your head that success is some final destination, some mountaintop moment where everything just clicks and suddenly you're fulfilled, confident, and unstoppable. But let's just stop right there and ask, how long have you been chasing that illusion? How many times have you told yourself, when I get the job, when I hit the goal, when I finally look the way I want or have the relationship I dream of, then I'll feel like I've made it? It's a lie. And deep down, you know it. See, we've all been sold this highlight reel version of success. The world wants you to believe that if you just grind hard enough, check enough boxes, keep your head down and play by the rules, you'll eventually reach some magical place where self-doubt disappears and life feels effortless. But what no one tells you is that there is no final destination. That feeling you're chasing, that peace, that confidence, that fire. It's not waiting for you at the finish line. It's built in the messy, uncertain, everyday moments where no one's watching. And the truth is, success isn't about where you arrive. It's about who you become in the process of getting there. Think about that. You spend so much time focused on the outcome, on what you think life will feel like once you get the thing, that you miss the point entirely. The process is the point. The journey is the reward. The daily choices, the habits, the way you talk to yourself, the courage to keep showing up even when it's hard, that's where your real power lies. Because that's where you are being built. But the world keeps distracting you with this shiny, filtered version of success, and you keep falling into the trap. You scroll through everyone else's curated wins, and suddenly your life feels like it's not enough. You start measuring your worth by how much you've achieved instead of how much you've grown. And you start thinking, I should be further along. Why is it taking so long for me? What's wrong with me? But the real question you should be asking is, am I becoming the kind of person who can hold the life I say I want? Because here's what no one tells you. If you skip the process, you don't develop the resilience, the wisdom, or the emotional grit you need to actually sustain the things you're chasing. That business you want, that relationship, that version of you that wakes up fulfilled. It's not just about getting there. It's about becoming the version of yourself that can handle it, protect it, and keep showing up for it when it's not easy. And that doesn't happen in the future. It happens right now. Right now, in the way you speak to yourself when things don't go your way. Right now, in the way you show up when nobody's applauding. Right now, in how you push through the boredom, the fear, the doubt. That's the real success. That's the stuff that builds character. And that's the stuff nobody sees, but it changes everything, so stop waiting to feel like you've made it. Because if you keep chasing success as some final moment, you'll spend your whole life missing what actually matters. You'll ignore your progress. You'll downplay your growth. You'll keep thinking you're not enough because you haven't arrived, when in reality, every single step, every fall, every small win, every decision to keep going is proof that you're already becoming more powerful than you realize. Let that sink in. You don't need permission to feel proud of where you are. You don't need 1 million followers, a corner office, a perfect relationship to be worthy. You just need to start valuing the process, celebrate the small wins, Acknowledge how far you've come. Start looking at success as a series of moments where you choose courage over comfort, integrity over shortcuts, discipline over distraction. And maybe you're sitting there thinking, but I'm not seeing results yet. I'm trying, and it's not happening fast enough. Let me tell you something, nothing meaningful grows in a rush. The most powerful transformations are slow, quiet, and deeply personal. And just because the world can't see your effort yet doesn't mean it isn't working. Don't confuse invisible growth with failure. Don't mistake patience for passivity. You're building something real, and that takes time. So the next time you feel behind, the next time you think you haven't made it, ask yourself, am I growing into someone I respect? Because that's the kind of success no one can take from you. And that's the kind of success that lasts. Let's talk about something you're probably doing without even realizing it. You're negotiating with your potential. Every single time you feel the pull to do something bold, to take that leap, to have the hard conversation, to step into discomfort, what do? You hesitate, you stall. You start reasoning your way out of it. Maybe it's not the right time. What if I fail? What if people judge me? And just like that, you trade your momentum for comfort, you shrink, you settle. And you tell yourself you're being smart or careful, but you're not. You're just scared. Fear is tricky. It doesn't always show up as panic or anxiety. Sometimes it shows up as procrastination, as overthinking, as perfectionism, as the need for more time, more clarity, more permission. You convince yourself that you need to wait until everything's perfectly aligned before you take action. But that moment never comes. And here's the brutal truth. You don't need more time, you need more courage. There is no perfect moment. There is no safety net that guarantees you won't mess up. Growth isn't supposed to feel safe. It's supposed to stretch you. It's supposed to challenge you. It's supposed to test your commitment to the vision you say you want. So if you keep waiting to feel ready, you're going to be waiting your entire life. And that dream, that idea, that thing you know deep down you're meant to do, it's going to pass you by. Not because you weren't capable, but because you negotiated with your own greatness. You let hesitation win. You want to know why some people seem to just go for it. Why they look fearless and confident and capable. It's not because they don't feel scared. It's because they've learned how to move with the fear instead of letting it stop them. They've stopped overthinking and started trusting. They've stopped waiting for permission and started taking responsibility. They understand that bold action, especially when it's uncomfortable, is the key to momentum, and momentum is everything. You build momentum the moment you choose action over excuses. That one email you send, that one post you finally share, that application you submit, that phone call you make, that workout you show up for, that hard conversation you stop avoiding, that tiny push forward, it shifts everything. And when you repeat that over and over again, guess what? You build trust in yourself. You stop relying on motivation and start developing discipline. You start realizing that the thing holding you back was never your ability, it was your belief. Every time you override the voice that says, not now, you take back your power. Every time you act before you're ready, you chip away at the limits you've placed on yourself. And suddenly, what once felt terrifying starts to feel natural, not because it got easier, but because you got stronger, you stopped negotiating, you stopped playing small, you stopped waiting. Look, I get it. Taking that leap feels risky. Being seen trying feels vulnerable. But you have to stop avoiding the risk of being uncomfortable and start fearing the risk of staying the same, because the cost of inaction, it's bigger than failure, it's regret. It's waking up years from now realizing you talked yourself out of the life you were capable of living, and that should scare you more than anything else. So if you've got an idea that's been nagging at you, a dream you keep pushing aside, a version of yourself you know you could become, this is your moment. Not tomorrow, not next month. Right now, make the call, take the step, say the thing, share your work, stop negotiating. Stop asking for someone to say, no, you're ready, because you're already enough. You just need to start acting like it. When you stop giving your fear the final vote, you change the course of your life, and no one can ignore that kind of power. There's this lie that's been passed around like it's some kind of wisdom, this idea that one day, out of nowhere, you'll feel ready, that you'll just wake up full of confidence, that clarity, energy, and courage, that the moment will come when everything in your life lines up perfectly, and all of a sudden you'll finally feel prepared to go after what you want. That's not how life works. That's not how change works. That's not how growth works. If you're waiting to feel ready, you'll be waiting forever. Here's the truth no one really talks about: readiness is a lie. You don't feel ready before you do something brave. You feel ready after you've done the thing that scares you. You don't magically wake up one morning and feel confident. You build confidence through action, through repetition, through discomfort, through screwing it up and showing up anyway. You earn that readiness, you don't wait for it. Think about every major change you've gone through in your life: starting school, changing jobs, moving to a new place. Having a difficult conversation, you probably didn't feel 100% ready before those moments. You probably felt scared, uncertain, like maybe you were making a mistake, but you did it anyway, and somehow you figured it out, because that's how humans grow, not in comfort, but in courage. Waiting to feel ready is really just fear in disguise. It's fear dressed up as logic. It's fear making you believe that you're being smart by waiting, that you're being responsible, that you're protecting yourself. But all you're really doing is protecting your fear, giving it a seat at the table, giving it the final say, and the longer you wait for the feeling of readiness, the stronger that fear becomes. When you move forward without feeling ready, that's where the real magic happens. That's where resilience is built. That's where your brain learns, hey, I survived that, I can do hard things. That's when confidence starts to rise, not because someone handed it to you, but because you proved it to yourself. That kind of self-trust, that's unstoppable. And the thing is, most of the people you admire, the ones doing the things you wish you could do, they didn't feel ready either. They didn't have it all figured out. They just chose to take the step. They felt the fear, the hesitation, the insecurity, and they acted anyway. The difference between them and the version of you that's still waiting is action. That's it. You don't need to feel ready. You need to be willing. Willing to be uncomfortable. Willing to make mistakes, willing to look a little foolish, willing to feel the fear and still take the step. Because everything you want, every goal, every dream, every version of your future that keeps whispering to you, it's on the other side of the very thing you're avoiding. And no, it's not going to be easy. You're not going to feel brave all the time. Sometimes you're going to doubt yourself. Sometimes the fear is going to scream louder than your excitement. But if you keep moving, if you keep choosing action over comfort, you're going to become someone you didn't even know was inside you. You can't shortcut this. You can't hack your way into courage. You earn it one brave choice at a time, one moment of action in the face of fear, one step into the unknown. And every time you do it, that false belief, that lie that says you have to wait until you're ready, it loses power. You take it back. So stop waiting for the perfect conditions. They don't exist. Stop stalling while you try to feel prepared. You're not supposed to be prepared. You're supposed to grow through the process. You're supposed to step into the uncertainty and trust that you'll figure it out as you go, because you will. You always do. The people who build extraordinary lives, who reach impossible goals, who change the game, they don't wait for readiness. They move, they stumble, they get back up. They take the leap first and figure out the landing on the way down. And the moment you stop chasing the feeling of readiness and start choosing courage instead, that's the moment your life starts to change. You ever notice how easy it is to scroll through your phone and watch someone else live their dream? Someone else building the business, someone else getting in shape, someone else writing the book, moving across the world, chasing the goal, and there you are sitting with a knot in your stomach, not because you're jealous, or maybe a little, but because deep down, you know there's something you're meant to be doing too, but you're not doing it. You're watching instead of acting, you're hoping instead of building, you're waiting for a sign, a nudge, a moment. Let me tell you something, no one's coming to push you. No one is coming to knock on your door with the perfect timing, the perfect opportunity, the perfect plan. That knock, it's not coming. And you know what? That's not bad news. It's the best wake-up call you'll ever get. We've all been conditioned to believe that life has a timeline and eventually things just fall into place. That if you wait long enough, work just a little harder at your job, or be a little more patient, somehow the door will open. That someone will notice how much potential you have and hand you the opportunity of a lifetime. But life doesn't work that way. Doors don't open because you're waiting behind them. They open because you turn the knob and push through. If there's something inside of you that won't shut up, an idea, a vision, a dream, a pull, you've got to stop ignoring it. Because if you don't move, it'll start to hurt. Regret isn't some loud, dramatic explosion. It's quiet, it's subtle. It creeps in when you're sitting in traffic, When you scroll through Instagram and see someone else doing what you wish you had the courage to do. When another year passes and you're in the same place, making the same excuses, holding the same dream untouched. It's not about perfection. You don't need to have it all figured out. You don't need the whole map before you take the first step. You just need to decide that waiting isn't working anymore. You need to recognize that no one is more responsible for your life than you are. And that doesn't mean blame. It means power. It means you hold the pen and you get to rewrite the story anytime you choose. When you realize that no one is coming to save you, something incredible happens. You stop hoping and start doing. You stop wishing and start building. You stop making excuses and start making changes. And suddenly momentum kicks in. You don't need to move a mountain. You just need to push one small rock today and another tomorrow. And then the next day. That's how momentum works. That's how change happens. Look around at your life. Really look. Is it what you want? Are you excited to wake up in the morning? Do you feel proud of how you're spending your time? If not, you don't need permission to change it. You don't need approval. You don't need someone to believe in you. You just need to believe in the possibility that it could be different and then act like that belief matters. There's this voice inside you that knows you're capable of more. That voice is right, but it's not enough to hear it. You've got to answer it. And answering it doesn't always mean quitting your job or moving to a new country. Sometimes it means waking up an hour earlier to work on your dream. Sometimes it means saying no to distractions and yes to discipline. Sometimes it means being brave enough to do the thing you've been avoiding for far too long. I get it. It's scary to take ownership. It's easier to blame your past, your circumstances, or the people around you. But none of that changes the fact that this is your life and you only get one shot at it. You can either wait for the perfect moment, or you can decide this is the moment. You can either keep telling the same story, or you can write a new one starting today. It's not going to be easy, but you know what's harder? Living with the knowledge that you never tried, that you let fear win, that you spent your one life waiting for someone else to fix it. You are the one. You are the plan. You are the answer you've been looking for. You want to know what's really hard? It's not the failure. It's not the rejection. It's not the work. What's really hard is watching yourself stay small, watching yourself hold back day after day, knowing that you're meant for something more and still choosing comfort over courage. That's the kind of pain that quietly breaks your spirit. And the wild part is we do it to ourselves. We lie to ourselves with words like someday, or I'm not ready yet, or maybe when things settle down. But that's not truth. That's fear in disguise. That's doubt pretending to protect you. And I get it. Growth is uncomfortable. Change is risky. But you've got to decide what kind of discomfort you're willing to live with. The discomfort of stretching beyond what's familiar, or the slow, burning discomfort of never becoming who you were meant to be. Every time you feel that pull in your gut, the one that whispers, "This isn't it," that's your power trying to wake you up. That's your potential knocking, begging for a chance. But instead of answering it, we negotiate with it. We trade it for approval. We drown it in distractions. We bury it under business. And the truth is, no matter how much you try to ignore that inner call, it doesn't go away. It just grows quieter and heavier, like carrying a bag of bricks you never put down. The most successful people you see, the ones out there chasing what they love and building something real, they didn't start with confidence. They didn't wait until they had all the answers. They started with a decision to listen to themselves, a decision to take one uncomfortable step at a time, a decision to stop letting fear sit in the driver's seat. And here's something no one tells you: you're not lazy, you're not unmotivated, you're not broken. You're just stuck in a cycle of hesitation, and the only way out is action. Not perfect action, not heroic action, just movement. Forward today, because here's the thing no one can ignore: your life is not going to change until you change. Not next year, not when you get a break, not when someone hands you a better deal. It changes the moment you stop abandoning yourself, the moment you stop putting your dreams on the back burner and start taking them seriously. Do you know how powerful you are when you stop waiting for permission? When you stop trying to be realistic and start being honest with yourself about what you want? You become unstoppable. Not because it's easy, but because it finally matters more to you than being liked or staying safe or keeping everyone else comfortable. There is no right time. There's just time, and it's passing whether you move or not. It doesn't pause for your fear. It doesn't slow down for your doubt. It keeps ticking. And the more you wait, the harder it becomes to believe in your own voice. I need you to understand this: nothing in your life will shift until you do.